I think we are on. I hope we are on. Welcome, welcome, my darlings, to an impromptu hangout because I'm not sure what I'm doing. Now, let's see. I'm going to have to get that pulled up so that I can see what's going on here. No, that's not it. I'm just testing out my new setup. I got a new computer because my one crashed a while ago and was not so great. Yeah. Hi, Tiffany and Merritt. Welcome, both of you. How are you? Hopefully going well. Let's see. Oh no, I've got too many things going on. I can't find myself. There we go. How are you both? Merritt, you are up early. I hope your back's not hurting you again. This is just a test. I'm trying to get MD Who Entertainment's going to join us shortly, and maybe some other people. We'll see who shows up. Let's see. Any questions you have before things start? I can read you a short story while we wait. I'm promising ghosts in the title, so why not? The Phantom Hag. The other evening in an old castle, the conversation turned upon apparitions, each one of the party telling a story. As the accounts grew more horrible, sorry, that's habit. Sorry. As the accounts grew more horrible, the young ladies drew closer together. "Have you ever had an adventure with a ghost?" said they to me. "Do you not know a story to make us shiver? Come, tell us something." "I'm quite willing to do so," I replied. "I will tell you of an incident that happened to myself. Towards the close of the autumn of 1858, I visited one of my friends, subprefect of a little city in the center of France. Albert was an old companion of my youth, and I had been present at his wedding. His charming wife was full of goodness and grace. I have no idea what that sound is. I'm sorry, Merritt. Let's see. I'm going to continue on. Let's see here. My friend wished to show me his happy home and introduce me to his two pretty little daughters. I was feted and taken great care of. 3 days after my arrival, I knew the entire city, curiosities, old castles, ruins, etc. Every day about 4 o'clock, Albert would order the phaeton, and we would take a long ride, returning home in the evening. One evening, my friend said to me, "Tomorrow we will go further than usual. I want to take you to the Black Rocks. They are curious old druidical stones on a wild and desolate plain. They will interest you. My wife has not seen them yet, so we will take her." The following day, we drove out at the usual hour. Albert's wife sat by his side, occupied in the back seat alone. The weather was gray and somber that afternoon, and the journey was not very pleasant. When we arrived at the Black Rock, the sun was setting. We got out of the phaeton, and Albert took care of the horses. Let's see here. We have a Bethany with us. Getting tea, I think. We walked some little distance through the fields before reaching the giant remains of the old Druid religion. Albert's wife wished to climb to the summit of the altar, and I assisted her. I can see her graceful figure as she stood draped in a red shawl, her veil floating around her. How beautiful it is! But does it not make you feel a little melancholy? Said she, extending her hand towards the dark horizon, which was lighted a little by the last rays of the sun. The afternoon wind blew violently and sighed through the stunted trees that grew around the stone cromlech. Not a dwelling nor a human being was in sight. We hastened to get down and silently retraced our steps to the carriage. We must hurry, said Albert. The sky is threatening, and we shall have scarcely time to reach home before night. We carefully wrapped the robes around his wife. She tied the veil around her face, and the horses started into a rapid trot. It was growing dark. The scenery around us was bare and desolate. Clumps of fir trees here and there and furze bushes formed the only vegetation. We began to feel the cold, for the wind blew with fury. The only sound we heard was the steady trot of the horses and the sharp, clear tinkle of their bells. Suddenly I felt the heavy grasp of a hand upon my shoulder. I turned my head quickly. A horrible apparition presented itself before my eyes. In the empty place at my side sat a hideous woman. I tried to cry out. The phantom placed her fingers upon her lips to impose silence upon me. I could not utter a sound. The woman was clothed in white linen. Her head was cowled. Her face was overspread with a corpse-like pallor, and in place of eyes were ghastly black cavities. I sat motionless, overcome by terror. The ghost suddenly stood up and leaned over the young wife. She encircled her with her arms and lowered her hideous head as if to kiss her forehead. "What a wind!" cried Madame Albert, turning precipitously towards me. "My veil is torn." As she turned, I felt the same infernal pressure on my shoulder, and the place occupied by the phantom was empty. I looked out to the right and left. The road was deserted, not an object in sight. "What a dreadful gale!" said Madame Albert. "Did you feel it? I cannot explain the terror that seized me. My veil was torn by the wind as if by an invisible hand, and I am trembling still." "Never mind," said Albert, smiling. "Wrap yourself up, my dear. We will soon be warming ourselves by a good fire at home. I am starving." A cold perspiration covered my forehead. A shiver ran through me. My tongue clove to the roof of my mouth, and I could not articulate a sound. A sharp pain in my shoulder was the only sensible evidence that I was not the victim of a hallucination. Putting my hand upon my aching shoulder, I felt a rent in the cloak that was wrapped around me. I looked at it. 5 perfectly distinct holes, visible traces of a grip of the horrible phantom. I thought for a moment that I should die, or that my reason should leave me. It was, I think, the most dreadful moment of my life. Finally, I became more calm. The nameless agony had lasted for some minutes. I do not think it is possible for a human being to suffer more than I did during that time. As soon as I recovered my senses, I thought at first I would tell my friends all that had passed, but hesitated, and finally did not, fearing that my story would frighten Madame Albert, and feeling sure my friend would not believe me. The light of the little city revived me, and gradually the oppression of terror that overwhelmed me became lighter. There was no mark, however, upon my flesh, only dull pain. I returned to Paris the next day, where I endeavor to forget the strange adventure, or at least when I thought of it, I would force myself to think of it as an hallucination. The day after my return, I received a letter from my friend Albert. It was edged with black. I opened it with vague fear. His wife had died the day of my return. Okay, that's that. How is your tea? I can
My
hear
tea
your
is delicious.
storm.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was enthralled.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad. I thought, well, I'm going to pass the time till she's got her tea.
So, how are you, madame?
I'm good. I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, as well as I can for someone who's had, let's see, 4 hours of sleep in about, I'm gonna say 18 hours.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun. Oh, why don't you introduce yourself to my audience here?
Hello, everyone. I am MD Who Entertainment, or Bethany. I guess at this moment I'm Bethany.
That's what it says.
Well, it's the reason why I say that though is because I'm kind of trying to transition a difference between me as a person and me as a character.
Right.
Like for my more recent videos, for the Desert Bloom and for Dr. Slaughter, I'm trying to create a character. With the fedora, that's supposed to be MD Who, but
Uh-huh.
at this moment, I am Bethany.
There you go. There you go. We are happy to have Bethany here. It sounds like you have quite the storm going on, which is wonderful. It's a great background noise.
It is. It is wonderful. Although if I disappear suddenly, it's probably because our power got knocked out.
Okay, that's good to
Just to,
know.
just to let you know. If I disappear, it's not because I don't like you or because I'm rude or anything. Not
Right,
intentionally, anyway.
you're not ghosted out. You're not ghosted out. I just put a link up in the chat to your channel for those who want to check it out.
Cool.
I myself have been a Whovian. Oh, I won't say how long, but let's say it was during the classic years.
The how classic are we talking?
Well, with PBS, I would, Tom Baker years. Tom Baker was my first doctor.
I I I'm I'm going to admit that I didn't even hear about Doctor Who until the Matt Smith Doctor. He was technically the first Doctor, but David Tennant was my Doctor. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh, I love David Tennant. He's awesome. He's amazing.
He is. But then I went back and started watching the classic Doctor Who with the first Doctor. I'm gonna say right out now, I don't like the first Doctor.
I I agree with you. I didn't like him either. He was too rude.
He was rude. He was well. Then again, in Time Lord years, he was the equivalent of a teenager. So you know.
Right, right, right. That's, when you're a teenager, you want to be taken seriously as an adult. So, he looked like an old man, and then he gets to be an old man and he looks like Matt Smith. He wants to be young again. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Although that you mentioned that though, it does make me think of the first episode when we meet River Song, and she's looking at the doctor and she says, "You're so young," and he goes, "I'm really not."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, and you think, by that time she was with Peter Capaldi, and so,
Peter
he
Capaldi.
is a great deal older, so
Yes.
Indeed,
He
indeed.
was a brilliant he was a brilliant doctor too, though. I didn't I'm probably gonna get a whole lot of hate for this, but I did not like Clara.
I don't think a lot of people did. I didn't have a problem with her.
It didn't feel like she had any chemistry with the doctor. You know
That
what I
could be.
mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Are you guys in the chat? Is there any Whovians there? Everybody's kind of quiet. Darren says hi, Bethany.
Hi, Darren.
We have Darren and Merritt and Tiffany and Pelagion. I hope I said that right. And Stacy. And is that everybody? I think so. If I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry. So yeah. Yes, yes. So now, do you consider yourself part of the horror community, like on Twitter, or just kind of, or not really, or
I do. I do consider myself part of the horror community, and although to be fair, I it wasn't until I started doing horror stuff that I was even aware that there was a community.
yeah,
And then I started getting into it, and I'm just like, hey, these people are really cool. These people are really nice.
yeah, yeah. Do you know I actually started making videos before I realized there was this community going on behind the scenes, and I had already made a number of videos, and then it was Lily C Nation that kind of took me onto Twitter and kind of introduced me to everybody. And I'm like, oh wow, this is awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's an amazing place. It's an amazing group of people. So yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh, hi, Mary Grace, welcome. So anyway, yeah.
I will say though that for the longest while when I was doing horror videos, it was my best friend. She was pretty much the only one that was watching my videos,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I don't remember which one outside of my direct circle of friends that reached out to me first. It was either Lighthouse Horror or Distant Light Narrations. It might have been both of them about the same time, but either way,
Yeah.
those were the people that reached out to me, and I'm just like, oh hey, there are people other than my friends that want to watch my stuff.
Yeah. 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 There's some. Oh, it's huge, the community, the number of people that do that. And
I'm aware of that
it's
now. It is huge.
it is. And there are some wonderful people that are so good to help you. It's really true.
Oh yeah.
So for sure, for sure. Let's see. I'm on the wrong. There we go. I'm trying to get everything up so I can see what's going on. There we go. So yeah. Oh, did we drop down to 4 people? We must have lost some people. Oh well.
C'est la vie.
What's that?
I said c'est la vie.
Yep, that's what happens. That's what happens. So yeah, usually we have people that want to pop in. So if anybody wants to pop in that's here now, let me know. If you're on Twitter, I can throw you a link, I think. So tell me a bit about yourself, Bethany.
Anything specific that you want to know? That's kind of a big question.
I know, right? Well, I mean, you don't want to give out too many details. My phone number is, my address is. No, just
I live at 123 Internet Lane.
that's right. Got to be careful about some things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, just I mean, how long did you think about starting a YouTube channel before you jumped in?
I actually started a YouTube channel about I'm going to say 2012, 2013. It was funny story. This is actually about the time that Jenna Marbles really started to blow up.
Oh, huh.
And this was I was kind of in I was kind of in a time where I had a hard time holding down a job for one reason or another. And I was getting really discouraged. Then I came across Jenna Marble's channel and how she had all these views and how she's getting paid to basically get on the camera and talk about sluts on Halloween and how much she hates her roommate. And I was like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had no idea what direction I wanted to take my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got on camera and started ranting about random stuff. A lot of my very very early videos were dumb, stupid AF. But at the time I was thinking to myself, "Oh yeah, this is going to get me a job where I can start working for myself. I don't have to worry about working for other people." But
Mm-hmm.
then I got discouraged because I wasn't getting famous right away. Like
Right.
complete disclosure, full disclosure, that was my original intention to start a channel was to become famous so I could get paid for it.
Uh-huh.
But having that mindset, I was 22, 23. I was fairly young in my 20s and having that mindset was not doing any favors for my mental health, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So then I got discouraged and I kind of let it go by the wayside for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think I put out another video for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years after that. But then I started to get traditional jobs again. I still have a traditional job, but uh, the monotony was killing me. So I started making videos again just to break the monotony, just because it was fun. Trying to keep that mindset of don't do it to become famous, do it for you.
Right. Right. Right.
Right. But still I didn't have a direction to take it. I've tried everything. I've tried doing makeup tutorials, I've done movie reviews, I've done silly little skits. Like my very first video with an actual camera that wasn't my webcam, it was different ways to annoy my cats. It was just but I was actually a gaming channel for a while too, because my best friend, she was a gaming channel, and she's like, I'll give it a try. Did a couple of gaming videos. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
so much fun. But then it became kind of playing video games wasn't fun anymore
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was just doing it for the channel.
Right. I can see that. I can see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
but
Yeah. Go
but
ahead.
I'm sorry, but
No.
but about okay. First of all, I have always had this. I've always kind of been a closeted horror lover. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Of the macabre, of the dark, of the psychopathic criminal killer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So 2017 October, I decided, you know what? I'm going to start telling scary stories. And then I did that. I started doing that, and something about it just felt right. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Mm-hmm. I do. I started it mainly as when I started mine, it was mainly with the idea of a horror channel in mind. I had been listening to other narrators. Dr. Creepin is a huge influence on me, for those who don't know. Yeah, right. And, some of the others, Creeps McPasta, Lazy
Mm.
Masquerade.
I love Creeps McPasta. I love
Uh,
his voice.
he has
Oh,
a great voice.
he does
I
have a
like
great voice.
Sir Aim too, but he's quit doing it, which is sad. But he had an amazing voice. And I was so shocked to find out he was not English, but was Dutch.
Whoop!
Wow. Because he had such a perfect English voice too. That is awesome. We had rain about an hour or two ago with a little bit of thunder, but now it's cleared up. Darn it all. Perfect background. Perfect
It is
background.
perfect background.
So, and I do some mythology and folklore and stuff like that, and it's all kind of interwoven. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Nature's Temper, he's amazing, Merritt. Yes. Yes, Scott, and he's such a sweetheart. He's such a sweetheart.
Are you gonna have this? Are you gonna have the keep the live stream on your channel later, or is it
You know
gonna?
what? I'll leave it up. I'll leave it up.
Okay.
I did a few gaming videos too, which were kind of hilariously bad, and I left them up. So yes, I will leave this up. So
Yeah, the
yeah.
reason why I'm asking is because because I don't have the live stream that you're doing for your channel up right now. It's pretty much just listening to you on Hangouts, and I
Right.
want to be able
Okay.
to see the I want to be able to see the chat later.
Right. Yes, I'll leave it up. I'll leave it up on my channel. So
Cool beans.
yeah. Yeah. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I kind of jumped into this without a plan. I just wanted to see if I could do it. My computer died in January, and then I had to go to my old laptop, which was horrible. But now I've got a new computer, and so I had to make sure everything was set up right. You got to try everything right.
Yeah, you do.
So so that's the whole point of this. But it'd be fun to do live chats more often
Oh
if
yeah.
it goes well. Mr. Nightmare's good too. Yes, there are so many good narrators out there. There really are. So I have noticed though that men are more popular as narrators, as
I've
horror narrators.
I've noticed that too. I think it has something to do with the pitch of their voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could
Because
be.
a lot of the creepiest, most unsettling stories are they sit better if the person narrating it has this big booming voice. You know what I mean?
Right, 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 right. I think that could be it. My voice is pitched a little bit lower and a little more gravelly. I don't know. I'm still, clawing my way to get subscribers. Hello,
Yeah,
Dame Saturday and Evil Outcast. Go ahead with what you're going to say.
you'll get there. I
Yeah.
mean, s- spirit voices. She's got a really lovely voice, and I think she's like crap. I don't know how many subscribers she has, but she has a lot. She's in the
Yeah.
thousands.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's some really good ones out here. Matronox, she's in the chat. She's got a good voice. She's good too.
Hi, Matronox.
So yeah. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, there it went. That's what happens when you're going on little sleep.
You were gonna
But
give me some money.
yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, yeah. So, but no, I mean, it does seem harder as a female to, you know, um, kind of get a leg up on the horror narrations. And there's some really talented female narrators out
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
Oh, and I mean, Penny Tails Up, she does amazing
Oh,
animations.
I love
And
her voice.
yeah, and Raggedy Annsy, she does too. And they, do it all. And you're just like, I don't, oh, Ghost Mummy. Ghost Mummy has a really good voice. Yes.
I actually have not checked her out yet. I heard about her from horror horror reviews from the clown.
Mm-hmm.
He did this video of 18 narrators
Oh,
to
yeah.
subscribe to, and I heard a little bit of her voice, and it's like, huh, that's pretty cool. I need to check her out. I
Yeah, yeah.
still haven't. I
Yeah.
still haven't. I'm a terrible person.
It's hard. It's hard. There are so many out there. Auntie Creeps is
God.
great. Lady McCreeps Pasta. Is she the one that is Turkish but sounds totally British too? I think so. She's good. I'm sitting here reading the chat, and these are people. GM Danielson, he's got an amazing persona. Just his, eloquent vampire thing. So I don't know if you've listened to him.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Caged Misery, Lily C. Nation, and Duchess Dark. They are really good. Duchess Dark, she's got this, she sounds like a sultry FM radio kind of voice. So yeah, and Lily's such a sweetheart. So yeah, there's some really, really good female narrators out there, but they don't seem to get as many subscribers. So, hi, Creighton. Thank you for dropping by, and David. So, yeah, but it is a lot of fun. I mean, I'm never going to make a living doing this, but I just enjoy it
Exactly.
so much.
And I think keeping the mindset personally of just doing this for fun,
Hmm.
do this for me, has done a lot of good for for my mental health personally, to the
Right.
point where I'm I've accepted that I've also accepted that I'm probably never going to be able to make this a living, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's me too. That's me too. Thank you so much, David. I do. I get if you're not doing it for the love of it for itself, you're not going to last, and you're just going to have frustrations. So yeah, for sure, for sure. But hang on, I got it. You're drinking nice healthy tea, and I'm having a Dr. Pepper. It's terrible. It's been that sort of day though. Dark Owl Stories is also good. Everybody's listing all these people in the chat.
I will say one narrator that I've come across is a Gothic librarian. I think she's
Oh,
like Swedish or something, and she's
she's Swiss.
Swiss. Yeah, she's mwah, just beautiful voice, beautiful accent.
Yes, she is a sweetheart. Oh yes, I love her. I love her. And Synthetic Alien is her boyfriend, and he does SCPs, and he puts a lot of work into his videos. They're just really amazing. He doesn't put out a lot, but boy, he puts a lot of work into them. So,
You know, quantity over quality, or quality over quantity.
yeah,
Pardon me.
for sure, for
I
sure.
know what I was trying to say.
It's kind of funny because, okay, this is going to sound really weird, but there is a game it's kind of like paper dolls, but you get all these outfits you got to, try on and stuff. And they have all sorts of different kinds. And I was actually playing it with Gothic Librarian, and they have, all these Gothic outfits, and they have steampunk outfits
Ooh.
and all sorts of things. And so that was a really weird thing to connect with her over. But yeah, it's funny. You just kind of, you meet people, and they just kind of end up in your life sort of in a strange way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bethany.
Hi.
Hi. Tiffany she knows my real name. She's a Facebook friend. And so was Sexy Grandma Darkness. And I still wish I knew what happened to her, but oh, darn it, I don't know. So, oh, Darren, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. Darren, he is such a great supporter of me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that donation. But anywho, so where do you go for your stories that you share, Bethany?
Well, for stories that aren't my own, I go to creepypasta.com,
Mm.
or books.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started reading Beauty and the Beast chapter by chapter a long time ago. I still have not. I've got the audio footage for chapter 5, and I still haven't done it. But I've also started reading Psycho by Robert Bloch. I've got the audio recording and everything for chapter 2, and I need to put that together. No, most of the stories I do, though, a lot of the stories I do are originals.
Mm.
I'll take ideas of. See, I also like a lot of folklore, but I like to incorporate that in them into a real life, a sort of real life scenario to make it seem more, give it kind of that mysterious feel. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
like what is going on? and and I found that I have the most fun connecting these stories with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I
Yelling
am
in the background.
sorry. My son is playing the PlayStation 4, and that's who you can hear in the background. Most people have to deal with pets, but my son is from the yelling. I'm guessing he's playing Dragon Ball from the amount of testosterone coming from the other room.
The PlayStation 4. I'm guessing it's probably Xenoverse because my husband has that same game for the Xbox One.
Oh yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Oh man.
But no. Anyway, I actually have a playlist on my channel of stories that connect to each other. All but two of them are stories that I wrote from scratch.
Uh-huh.
The other two, they are, I kind of used other stories and other creepy pastas or urban legends as kind of a skeleton. Like I took off most of the meat and then I put my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's the dressing up that I have a hard time with the writing of. So I do a lot of no sleeps. I also do I do a lot of public domain myself. I've had a few series and I've had a few series that I never finished simply because people's interest waned on it. One was the original Penny Dreadful of Sweeney Todd, and I never finished that one. And anyway,
I don't think I've heard of that one.
yeah, it's what the Sweeney Todd came from.
Yeah.
Was what it was like serialized magazines
Oh.
of it. So yeah, and I found that and I did that and it went pretty well for a while. I mean, it was, you know, interesting. I did Carmilla, the novel, and I did Youth by Arthur C. Clarke because that was in public domain and that was an interesting one. And I need to finish Turn of the Screw. That's what I'm in the middle of. So anyway, hi Richard, welcome, welcome. I think that's everybody I've welcomed anyway.
For now.
For now, hopefully more will show up. I don't know. I sent Matronox a link so she can join us if she wants. Anyway, so yeah, we've got a lot of that's another thing about the community is they show up to live streams to support each other, and I appreciate everybody that's showed up. Hi Perry, how are you? Thank you for coming. So it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I like going to live streams just because I like hanging out.
Right,
I
right.
like yeah, because it's one thing to see a creator from a as a creator be
Mhm.
like, oh, I love the stuff that they put out, but then actually going to a live stream and get to hear them interact with each other and interact with you, it's like they're not creators anymore, they're people.
They're people.
They're
Yeah,
cool people.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Let's see. Somebody asked me a question. Oh, Evil Outcast. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Can I remember what it was? No, because I did it before last weekend because my daughter got married last weekend, and so everything has been crazy. Matronox, yay!
Hi.
Hey, hey, congratulations on your daughter's wedding.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have it over with.
Yeah, the weddings are fun, but also stressful. So yeah, I
Very
get
Yeah,
it.
stressful. Yeah,
definitely.
very much
Um,
so.
I have four sisters, and three of them are now married. So I gotcha.
Oh, I feel so bad for your parents.
Oh, yeah, they hold up well, and now they have three grandchildren.
Oh, that's
So
great.
it helps.
That does.
We're being visited by Tim.
Hi, Tim. He's a
Hi, Tim.
Yeah,
cutie.
Yo, I
He
love black
looks like my
cats.
Luna.
yeah. He might start attacking me randomly though, because he's a teenager and is very. You can't tell me what to do, mom.
Of
Um,
course.
so he either will try to randomly attack me, or he spends his day watching the chickens through the window. It's like daytime television for him. I swear, one day, I came and picked him up off his usual spot and like set him in the middle of the living room, and then the rooster crows and he runs back over to the window like faster than I could even think, just trying to figure out what just happened. So
He doesn't want to miss anything.
That's right.
basically, yeah,
There's nothing more mischievous in the world than a teenage cat. It's true.
basically. The he just had his surgery too, poor thing.
Oh,
So yeah, that surgery.
yeah. He won't
Yeah,
know what he's missing.
hopefully not, because that
Where are my testicles,
that would
Summer?
be kind of yeah, basically. Yeah, I did a live stream where I mentioned that, and for about 20 minutes, everyone in the comments was just making fun of me at that point. So that was fun though.
You're being a responsible owner.
I am. Um,
I think my cat is a perpetual teenager because
yeah.
he's a Siamese.
Oh,
Uh,
my mother had a Siamese and she lived to be 23 years old.
holy smokes!
I know.
That
Eh,
That's a
that's an old kitty.
good life
That
for a cat.
is. And way back when I was a teenager and my boyfriend was tickling me, she attacked him. She did not like that.
She was being protective.
She was.
Oh my god!
So, yeah. Well, Matronox, I
She
don't
did
want
not
to
put up with that
alarm you.
mess.
Nope, nope, nope. But looking in your door, I swear I can see a face in the door behind you. I don't know how that is.
It's the probably the
Just
lighting. It's
it is the
it's
lighting.
yeah. I
It's
live in a house that's over 100 years old,
awesome.
so
So how do you
it's
know it
fun.
isn't a face?
Well, I've kind of just resigned myself to the fact that if there are ghosts, I'm just gonna put up with them because the rent's cheap.
There you go.
As long as they don't screw with the thermostat, they are allowed to stay here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I have no problem with them. They have no problem with me.
There you go.
It's a
It's just a
yeah.
quiet roommate.
Yeah,
Yep.
apparently there was at least one ghost though when my sister first arrived. The lady who'd owned the house previous um, had died, and then that afternoon, my sister shows up to the house, and there she's standing at the top of the stairs. So
Oh,
my sister
wow.
gets my sister gets all the luck though. Like I'm like all Fox Mulder. I want to believe I'm going all these ghost walks and doing all these different things, and my sister shows up to a house and there's a ghost, or
Yeah,
she goes to a hotel and finds a little ghost boy and has a conversation with him. It's like, are you kidding me?
that's
Like
just not fair, right?
she doesn't even watch horror movies. Like she refuses to watch them now that she's in a house that's this old. It's oh my gosh. It's
Well,
it's not fair.
She's probably like,
It's
oh,
not
well, I
fair.
don't need to now. I live in an old house.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically.
Dame Saturday, I had a cat that would play fetch also. He would use little
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Richard. You mentioned that he had to put his cat down.
And I am so sorry about your cat, Richard. He had to have his put down.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's hard. I had to do that last year with a cat, and oh, it just about killed me. So, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Well, let's hope that Tim murders me before. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just turns into that black cat from what's that? What was that anthology that was a while ago? Like that had Blondie in it. Tales from the Dark Side, I think it was.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's not ringing a bell for me.
Okay. Well, there's
I'm
this one
sorry.
segment where this like really old rich guy actually hires a hitman to kill a cat because the cat's literally been murdering everyone in the family.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
a it's a it's a pretty good anthology. Like normally anthologies are kind of hit and miss because the quality of the different segments is based on who's directing it, but it's a pretty solid one.
I'll have to look out for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, maybe the cat wouldn't murder everyone if they buried it in a proper cemetery. You know what I mean?
Well, the cat was still alive technically. Yeah, yes, but yeah. Speaking of Pet Cemetery, did either of you guys go see it?
I did not.
I did.
I haven't.
Haven't
You
you?
did? What did you think of it?
You know, it was okay. It was good. Of course, you know, I knew the other one, you know, by heart and what happened, and so everything was a comparison. They went a different way in a few different directions, which is great, and it catches you off guard. Just don't watch the trailers before you go because for some reason they decide to ruin some of the surprises in the trailer. But
Ah,
That
So-
always
I hate it when they do that.
yeah, because you basically shaft
No.
the movie.
yeah,
But you
Yeah.
know,
So-
but it's you're but that's the idea. Okay, I know what I'm trying to say. I'm tripping over my tongue here.
that's okay. That's what we do as narrators, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We have
That's,
like
The power of editing.
that's right.
yeah. Takes 2 hours to film a 4-minute long story. Oh my gosh.
But no, the idea that it wouldn't be as good as the original is part of the reason why I'm apprehensive about seeing Pet Cemetery. It was also the reason why I was apprehensive of seeing the It remake. Because I'm sure Bill Skarsgård was a great Pennywise, but Tim Curry is always going to be my Pennywise. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to love Tim Curry.
Yeah,
You have
absolutely.
to love. But I will say that Skarsgård, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I like that one. So.
I saw the two films. It was weird because I hadn't grown up watching like the older one. I really didn't have as much sentiment attached to it. And I felt like the two films were like a bizarro world version of each other. Like the original film, like the kid actors were all right, but Tim Curry was like the best part of the film.
Absolutely.
And then the new one, I liked everything. I was probably shafted by the way I saw the film. In my area, the only type of movie version they had on opening night was like the RPX thing, where it's like super high def and that kind of thing, to bring more money out of people opening night. So I saw all the CGI in like perfect high def, and it really took me out of the film.
Oh, I could see how that would do. Yeah. I could see how that would do it.
Yeah, and poor Bill was like augmented with CGI every like 5 seconds. So it really took away from his performance.
Yeah. Did you see him in Castle Rock?
I have not, but I've heard that it was really good.
It was.
I have not heard of Castle Rock.
It was a series that's kind of based on Stephen King's work. It's in his universe. It's in the town Castle Rock. It's got Shawshank Prison in it. The acting in it, though, is absolutely phenomenal. Bill does such an amazing job. Sissy Spacek does an incredible job. Um, it was a bit more plot driven, but there was a lot going on. It was really good. I liked it.
Good.
So yeah.
He played a bit role in the second Deadpool movie too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. He was the guy that could spit acid.
Oh,
Huh.
very cool. I did not
Uh,
know that.
I'll have to keep that in mind when I eventually watch the Deadpool movies because I was a little bit too young when the first one came out, and then like by the time the second one came out, I'm kind of in a superhero movie kind of like exhaustion point
Mm,
where I'm just looking forward to John Wick, to be honest.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I saw when I went to see the first Deadpool movie. I saw a guy, a father, I think that brought his son. It was like 6 or 7 in the theater. I'm
Oh,
like,
Oh,
dude, dude. I don't
what are you
remember what
doing?
I don't remember what part that he walked out on, but I'm imagining it was probably the first scene.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get why parents think just because it's a superhero movie that there's not going to be anything inappropriate in it, especially
well,
if it's an R-rated film. Like,
exactly.
Exactly. It's like, okay, another incident, a separate incident. Me and my husband, a bunch of friends went to see Logan in theaters, and there was a mother that had 4 small children with her that walked out the very first scene.
yeah, it's kind of like with how expensive movie tickets are nowadays. I don't get why you would take like seeing that it's R-rated. I don't get why you would take all these kids to go see it before just going in and seeing it yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, I don't have kids, but I do know that is parenting 101.
yeah, that's what my dad did growing up. Like if there was a movie I was interested in seeing or one that we're both interested in seeing, he would go see it like ahead of time with maybe his friends or something. And if he thought I was old enough for it, he would go take me later or we would
Right.
watch it later on DVD or something. Um, but it's just it is crazy how parents will kind of ignore, and of course, the same parent will complain later
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
about
lady,
the
what did you
film
think the R
on
rating meant?
online.
Do you think the R meant rally up your tiny circus?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny. I loved scary things as a kid. And the way I would get around that would be hi, Johnny, how are you? Welcome. I
Hey,
would,
Johnny, what
oh,
fear
no
caller's in here too?
way.
Wait, the
Fear
gang's all
caller.
here.
What now?
The
That
gang's all here. We got fear
was
caller
so
and
sweet of
Johnny.
you. Thank you so much, Fear Crawler. Wow, I'm overwhelmed. Um,
Wait, Nihongo Johnny?
yes, Nihongo Johnny's
Yeah.
here.
Johnny!
Hey, what
Hey!
up? Hey.
So, the way I'd
Keep
get
in mind,
around,
I can't see the chat. I don't
I
know who all is here.
yes, yes, yes. The way I'd get around not being well, see, I'd be 10 and they'd show Hammer horror films on, Saturday afternoon. So I kind of got hooked on that. But what I would do is I would go to the used bookstore with my mom and I would buy the novelizations. When I was in 4th grade, my first horror book was actually the novelization of Alien. So yeah,
Nice.
that's how I'd get around that.
Hey, hey. Uh, I think she would have been happy that you're reading it probably like a couple grade levels above what you're supposed to be. So
Right.
raising them right.
There you go.
Um,
There you go.
It's not inappropriate, Mom. I'm just a great reader.
There you
basically.
go.
Um, I was in this weird place. My dad actually loves horror and sci-fi, and he grew up on like Lost in Space and all the Godzilla movies and all this other stuff. Um, but we didn't watch R-rated films. Like, at
Mm.
least I didn't, because I was younger. So he basically raised me on like the Universal monsters and the old Godzilla movies. So and like he would let me watch like The Ring and The Grudge, like the PG-13 kind of stuff. So it was neat because he wanted me to experience the stuff, but
Uh,
I think that's just a good way to approach it. At some point I would love to do a video about like intro horror for like younger kids, like
right.
like if you're not quite comfortable showing them like full nudity and stuff, like, but you want them to experience or at least try it out to see if they like it, like some good films to start off on, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. There, you know, there's a lot. Even for younger kids, there's what's that Vampirella or something on Nick Jr. There was Ruby Gloom a few years ago that was adorable for um, preschoolers and stuff like that. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff that is age appropriate. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Coraline was
Oh
amazing.
yes,
I think
I've never seen Coraline. I want
highly
to.
recommend it.
I want to see Coraline, but I live with my husband and my mother-in-law, and every time we come across it on Netflix, I'm like, I want to see it, and they're both like, no, it's too creepy. And I'm like, psh,
Oh, you're ruining your fun.
yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
Vampirina. Thank you, Fear Crawler.
But yeah, I actually watched it with yeah. Sorry, the cat just ran by again.
Crazy
Golly day,
baby time.
Tim.
Good night.
Yeah, he's watching the chickens again. Did you
He doesn't
know?
want to miss
Did you
anything.
know? Did you know that there are actual chickens called Easter chickens, and that they will lay colored eggs?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
That sounds like
have
a bunch
like
of BS. It really
no,
does.
no. I'm serious. I have see my landlord, aka my sister, because I rent like a section of the house from her. She has Easter chickens. So she gave me a dozen eggs, and some of them are blue and green. Like they're not like the neon kind of color that you get when eggs are dyed, but they're
Right,
like a
right.
soft, like robin's egg blue and a green.
Oh,
I'll
that's
put a
cool.
picture.
Huh.
I'll put a picture up on Twitter after this is over, just to
Please
like
do.
prove.
Please do. Pixar, it didn't happen.
But my 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 mom actually said this to me. I'm like, I had the exact same reaction you did. It's like, yeah, you're you're just messing with me, aren't you? Because I'm the type of person that would believe it and then would get like sucker
Yeah.
later. So yeah.
Yeah. Dame Saturday says she's seen the movie and read the book of Coraline. I really like Neil Gaiman. He is such a great author. I don't know. There's Good Omens is coming out. Have you guys ever read that book?
No, I
No.
have not.
It's a really good book. He wrote it with Terry Pratchett. I don't know if you know who that is. He wrote
Terry Pratchett.
Terry Pratchett, Discworld, hilarious stuff.
I read Mort. I want to read more of Terry Pratchett's stuff, but I've read at least Mort.
Yeah, yeah. Mort is a good one. Yes.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It is. Well, and I actually really like the books that have Mort's daughter in it, Susan, because she kind of inherits her grandfather's some of his powers. I would highly suggest Thief of Time and Hogfather. But anyway, he wrote it with Neil Gaiman. So imagine Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett writing together. It's absolutely hilarious stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's about the end of the world, the apocalypse. So
sounds cheery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Neil Gaiman is someone I do want to read more. I probably should steal a book from my dad. I think he wrote one where he took old Norse myths and created them into a story, or like modernized them, or something like that.
It's all the myths worldwide, and American Gods is what it's called. And they've done a TV show on that too, which is really interesting. I haven't seen it. I have read the books though.
Well, he did American God. He did that one, but I think he did a newer book where he took
Hmm.
Norse myths and then wrote them
Hmm.
into like an actual story.
Right.
Outcast, what did you miss? You missed Easter eggs that are actually real. You missed Tim chewing on my foot and me desperately trying to maintain my composure.
Good Omens
Yeah,
and Terry
yeah,
Pratchett and
and
uh,
Neil Gaiman.
and Neil
But
Gaiman.
but I would like to. I need to read more, which is something I always say that I need to do, and
Hmm.
then I start off on something else. But I just need to read more.
I used to
Yeah.
read all the time for fun, just for leisure.
Mm.
And the thing about having this hobby of narrating is, while I enjoy what I read, I know my son is still at it. I'm so sorry.
Is that Mortal Kombat? Is that the new one? Ask him how it is for me, because I'm thinking about picking it up. But oh gosh, I have. It's the same thing with books as it is with video games. I buy them. I'm like, I will play this at some point. 2 years later, hasn't touched them. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes, indeed. That's, I don't have time to read for leisure because I'm always looking for another story to narrate, but I enjoy looking for it. So I guess it's not terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't
So.
read because I procrastinate. I'll own up to it. I procrastinate, but I'm but like you, I also used to read a lot for leisure, but I stopped for a time, without disclosing all the baggage, was because my ex, my boyfriend at the time, didn't like reading, and I wanted to be like him so he would like me better.
Oh.
But yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but
We
now
can we
but
can
now
we can move
but now
into
you yeah.
feminism now, and I'm just kidding.
Now we have kicked him to the curb and
Yeah.
um um
I
but
think
yeah, my problem is that I spend more time writing than I do reading, and then by the time I actually want to read a book, I'm like, I just want to watch a movie
Hmm.
because I've been staring
Yeah.
at writing sentences. Because not to plug or anything or that kind of thing. Um, I write I've been writing basically all of the narrations I've been doing. I feel like I need to start looking for people other stuff because um, I don't want to experience burnout
Hmm.
with writing.
Right,
Um,
right.
and I'm also writing my novel too, so it's a lot of different things. So
Oh yeah. I'm sitting here nodding like you guys can see me,
yeah,
Me
No,
too.
that's great. No, it's great that are spending. It takes a lot more creative energy to write than to read, most definitely. And you have a work of your soul, part of you that's out there. So yeah, I definitely would not feel guilty for not reading if I were
yeah,
you.
yeah. It's just and I feel bad because I feel like I add on another book to the pile. I'll read that soon, and I don't know. I think what'll probably end up happening is that I'll finish writing my major book, and then Tim, stop, Tim, stop, Tim, you're adopted. Dang it, that didn't throw him off. Hold on 1 second. Tim, seriously, stop. I'm going to banish you to the other room if you don't stop. You gotta behave yourself. We have company. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's okay. Tim, all right. If I suddenly like yell in pain and have to run off and bandage my foot,
We'll know
you'll
why.
know
Okay.
who's up. Tim, get down. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong to have a teenager like this? Instead
It's
of
the
playing like
price of motherhood.
instead of playing Mortal Kombat, he's He's jumping on me.
You took away his catnip.
Why couldn't I have a son like yours, Raven?
He has a catnip problem.
That's right.
Oh, golly day. Oh, Tim,
Oh, that's funny. My cats now are so old that they kind of look at you and then just lay there.
Yeah, that sounds like an old cat. You're like, there's a mouse, get it. Looks at you like, psst, no, you get it.
Yeah, I actually have a video up from last summer or so, trying to get my cat to eat a spider that was in my bathtub. And she's just kind of like, no. Dame Saturday, we all face that problem. She says, but I face sexism because it is not becoming of a lady to be scary or freak people out. That's us. We're a sisterhood that scare people and freak people out. Oh.
Matronox, I can see your lips moving, but I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah. And are you unplugged? Merritt, I do have a dog too. Oh. You know, it's that's got to be hard when people take you more seriously than you actually are, Dame Saturday. You're Helen Mirren here, you know.
Is your mic muted by chance?
Mm,
no.
there we go.
There we go. Yay! We have her
I'm
back.
gonna blame Tim. I'm gonna blame Tim. It's his.
We'll all blame Tim.
It's his.
It's Tim.
It's his warlock powers that he got,
Hey,
but because he's adopted.
He's an enchanter.
That's
Yes.
right.
Oh my! That's actually what I named him after. I named him after the wizard from Monty Python.
Come call
And
me
Tim
Tim.
Curry. Yes, I named him after that and Tim Curry.
And Tim Curry. That's excellent. Oh.
Yes.
Excellent.
Some call me Tim.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, it's just a harmless little bunny, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, awesome.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, he was pulling on my headset wire there for a second. I think he Sorry.
He literally flew past the camera.
He's got to get to the chickens.
Basically. Oh my gosh.
I forgot what we were talking about before the whole thing with Tim.
Me too.
Golly day,
I'm going
Tim.
to say this. Johnny said to put up links, so I put you ladies' links up. Any
Duh.
narrator in the chat, feel free to put your link in the chat so everybody can subscribe to everybody else. Because
Sounds
we
good
got to
to
support
me.
each other.
Yes.
So, anyway.
Feminism. That was it. It was something about it's not becoming of a lady to be scary.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we have a hard time getting subscribers. We're too improper.
It would be very silly if so, because I mean, Frankenstein, one of the like big defining stories of science fiction, was written by a woman. Like,
Absolutely.
Hi, Tim.
Exactly.
And like Dave Saturday just said, the female villains in fairy tales were often women. So,
Yeah.
you know,
well,
we need to embrace our scary heritage and take back horror for the women.
Yeah. Yeah. Though I will ask something.
yes.
With a lot of the stories that are written from the female perspective in terms of like creepypasta. Do you ever feel like there's like a box that a lot of them are put into
How
in terms
so?
of
Yeah.
like what stories are told? It's about like creepy dates or stalkers or um that sort of thing. Which and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I noticed
Huh.
that um when when they are specifically written from a female perspective, I feel like a lot of the time it deals mostly with I'm being stalked or I'm being harassed or there's a creepy guy out there. Like I mean, which covers a lot of it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm.
I can see that.
I'll
And
be
I
honest with you,
think
dude. I didn't notice. I didn't notice until you said something. But you're right.
it's strange. The stories from the female perspective I seem drawn to are as a mother and something with the children. But, I see that too. And I think that goes back to creepypastas and no sleeps and all that being the new urban legends. It's the things that are scaring us today. We don't have the close communities we used to in the past. And so strangers and strange men can be dangerous, and that the stories are out there as a warning. Um, I think you're right. I think it should be, expanded. We can go walking through the woods and encounter a humanoid creature just as well as men, but excuse me.
I want to.
I can see what you're
Sorry.
saying. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to throw something out there. I recently saw a tweet that we shouldn't be here posted that of someone had commented under one of his stories something about it's a story from a female's perspective that he should have a female do the voice, like do the narration,
Uh-huh.
which I feel like I I feel like in a way that's kind of sexist too, because it's like it,
Right.
I don't feel like you have to be male to tell a male story or female to tell a female story.
Right.
And
And I
that's
had I
true.
had an author tell me that she would not let um male narrators if narrate if the protagonist was female and vice versa, which is okay, I guess, if there's equal amounts. But I feel that really narrows down what we can narrate, and um, it has to be more a story that interests me and intrigues me more than who the protagonist is or what the protagonist
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this
Um
though, that I am guilty of when I'm doing audio that's supposed to be from the perspective of a male. I am guilty of lowering the pitch on the audio just because I feel like it's more immersive to the actual character.
Yeah. Whoa, what was that? My microphone's being weird. I agree. And I have to admit that I really enjoy playing with monster voices when I do them on my narrations.
Oh,
yeah.
That is
they're
so
fun.
fun.
They're so much fun.
Adding a little echo and deepening it and all that other stuff is just
I'll
fun.
I'll
Yeah.
be I'll say my favorite thing to do is when I'm doing a character that is demonic or demon possessed because I have the same audio doubled, but one of them is lower, so it kind of gives them a dual sound to it. It's I love it.
Yes.
Nice.
And yes, Mara, the goddess and mythical voices too. I really enjoy those. Mara is one of my authors. She's Gelfwin.
Hi
I've
Mary.
done a lot of
Tomorrow.
her work. I did a series that is so good about mythology, and it takes place in the South, and you have to go watch it. Anyway,
Ooh.
Collected Tales.
Ooh.
So yes, I think that's my favorite series I've done.
Is that what it's called? Collected Tales?
Collected Tales, yes.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't hate the Scottish accent. People probably hate my Scottish accent, but
I don't know. I would ask Mr. Adams and Tales from the Hanged Man, see what they think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they probably have a better grasp on it.
Like, oh, you're terrible. Mr. Ramsey, I'm sure he would just no, don't do it again.
Yeah. I think, and I haven't been doing narration as long as you two ladies, so choosing a favorite is probably a lot easier. But I think of the ones I've done so far, my story, The Man with a Stick, is probably my favorite, and part of that's probably due to Dr. Creepin being generous enough to lend me his voice for part of that. So.
Oh yes, Dr.
That
Creepin
one's my
is
favorite so far.
a true gentleman. He really is. He is such a sweet guy, and just an absolutely out of this world voice.
He is.
Absolutely. In fact, I snatched Mara off of his subreddit. I poached her off of his subreddit.
Yeah. Bagged her, tagged her, and taken her home. Night, evil outcast.
Good night, evil outcast.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much for coming.
Thank you for joining us.
You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes. Anyway, but what were we talking about?
I don't know.
For a moment.
I think we were talking about. Well, I think we were talking about the types of stories and what type of voices that you would use for it.
Oh yes, yes,
right,
yes.
Right.
Oh, I remember that story. Sorry, Mara. I remember that. I don't remember who did it with him. Anyway, yeah, I do lower my voice when I do a male voice too. I just kind of take it down as low as I can. But I don't have a problem narrating if the protagonist is male. I don't know if that affects how the viewers hear it.
But I feel like it's. But I will say. Sorry, go ahead. I'll wait.
I will say, from a viewer perspective, it is a little bit of a, especially if the story spells it out that your person's a man. It is like a moment of like a cognizant dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if at some point it's like I'm a father, like it's like a moment of, oh, okay, and then I can continue with the story. But I will say, and this is nothing against anyone, it takes a moment to like readjust how I view the story in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same when a male reads a female part. There is a moment of cognitive dissonance. If they're good, you can, just pop right back into it. But
but I still feel it's pretentious to say that, oh, you can't do this because of blah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I take the philosophy of, as long as you're not hurting anyone, do what you want, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
so it's
going back to this. The series I was talking about of Mara's is she distinctively does not say whether the protagonist is male or female, and there's never enough clues to figure it out. And I read it, and wasn't it Uncle Ulrich that read it as well? So you could hear it, as the protagonist being female or the protagonist being male. And the whole point was it didn't matter. But which is really, really interesting, I thought. I'd like to see more stories like that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
And she's still getting yelled at about that. A lot of people got very upset that, she wouldn't say this is male, this is female.
It's like yeah, it's at the point of why would it matter? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
I might steal Mara, if you don't mind. I might steal that idea for the story I'm working on, actually for this Monday. Um, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's involves a loan shark in Las Vegas, and I was thinking, do I want to have it be the main character be male, or do I just want to leave it ambiguous? So I might go ahead and just make it ambiguous.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really interesting. I like that in the story. Kind of the same way the book Rebecca, Mrs. De Winter, the second Mrs. De Winter, never ever had a first name. In the whole book, you never find out her first name. It kind of reminds me of that, but a little bit different.
Yeah. And I think you can play with that idea even more in the story itself. Um, by especially if you're having Tim, stop. We're talking about something serious right now. Thank you, young man.
Stop it, Tim.
Uh, um, to play with the ambiguity of identity. Like if the main character is going through like a psychotic break or is having difficulty clinging to reality,
Hmm.
um, the less identifying marks can actually, I think, lend to it. Because if they are uncertain of who they are or that sort of thing, long story short, I think that ambiguity in terms of who the person is can lend itself well to specific instances of writing stories, especially in horror.
Hmm.
Plus, I think that it also allows the viewers or the listeners to kind of let their imagination go a little bit wild. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And, again, if people listen to my narration, they might see it as a woman. Where they listen to Uncle Ulrich's, they might see it as a man. But it really doesn't change the story in the end. So, it's really, anyway.
Um, well, on that sort of note, I wonder kind of how the interpretation of a story changes depending on who reads it.
That's true.
I,
That's
I, I,
true.
well, it's just me being more idly curious, I guess, than anything else, because it would be interesting to see, like, if a story, like, say, if Dr. Creepin read a story, and then I read the story, um, how it sounds different coming from, like, a middle-aged man. I think that's how old he is. I don't know. Versus, like, a younger person, like a younger woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, and you even get people who read the same story from the same area and close to the same accent, the same age, and everything. And you still get variations because I used to, you know, um, I'd listen to stories from different narrators, and every single different person reads it differently. But, when you do get um, bigger changes, bigger differences, it does change the story quite a bit. And that kind of goes back to the Stephen King movies that they're remaking that we talked about. Is the focus of them changes from the '80s to now?
yeah.
Um, you know, and it's interesting. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. The ghost in Pet Cemetery, the boy that dies. And it
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's close to the same name that Penny Tails Up has for the imaginary friend for her Lily character. Anyway, he was changed a little bit in the new one. He was African American this time, and it felt very appropriate. It felt more inclusive. It worked really, really well. I don't think they would have done that in the 80s, which is a shame, but times change and move on. Pascal. Anyway, that was his name. But also, I don't think they delved quite as deep in the new one as they did with the old one. And I think part of that is because the creep factor wasn't as great. We're more used to the idea of what guiding ghosts with not Gage. Gage was the baby. Pascal, yes. The guardian ghost that's mangled, so to speak. But that was very disturbing back in the 80s. And so they didn't quite delve as deep, I think. Anyway, and I forgot where this came from. But no, narrators, different narrators, every single one of them will read a story just a little bit different. But, like you said, if you read a story and Dr. Creepin read a story, there's, a wide range in your experiences and in your lives and different things. So yes, I think that comes down to what we put into the story. The writers give us the story, and what we bring out of it is up to us and what's in us. So yeah. Anyway, kind of went on a tangent there. Sorry, guys.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
So let's see. I'm looking through the chat here.
Major Knox, I think your mic went out again. It's Tim's fault. It's all Tim's fault.
Oh, what story was that? What story was that, Mara? She says that me and Dr. Creepin both read a story. Oh, I seem to recall that comment, and I don't remember what story it was. But yeah, it's some people are very I don't want to say monotone, but they're very level and even. Creeps McPasta, he's very level, even toned. He's got a rhythm to it. And some people, I tend to get very dramatic in my readings at times.
I do too.
Overly.
I do too. But a lot of the drama that I try to put into my stories, I try to keep it appropriate to what the character is going through.
Right.
Let me think. The story I did, Judgment Day, was was a teenage boy going through some really heavy stuff with his family, and he was trying to describe what's going on with him, and he was just getting more distraught. It's like, that's pretty much where most of the drama came from.
Yeah. That's me. Is I tend to err on the Vincent Price melodramatic side sometimes, I think. It's probably too much, but
yes, Vincent Price. Yes.
He
show me someone who does not like Vincent Price, and I will show you someone you don't need in your life anymore.
I know, right? And he was so evil and so likable at the same time, and there was just kind of this wink in the whole thing, and I just really, yeah, I think he was my first celebrity crush. For sure. Have you got your mic? Your mic's still not working. Uh-oh.
Okay.
On.
Yay!
There we go. Yay. Okay.
There we go.
Tim, enough of your sorcery, Tim. We've had enough.
Maybe it's not Tim. Maybe it's not Tim.
Maybe it's the ghost.
The face in your window.
Probably.
That's right. It keeps
Excuse me.
Sometimes
excuse me, mister. Excuse me, mister. I am doing a live stream right now, and unless you want to start paying rent, you better get your butt out of the machine.
This one's a mic too.
Yeah, I at some point I might just write there are a couple of horror comedy ideas. I want to do one involving Tim because he's a butt, and maybe I'll do another one about ghosts having to pay rent.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
Speaking of horror comedy, have either of you seen Creeps McPasta? Like One of Us is Possessed. I'm almost certain.
I have not listened to that one. No.
Haven't
It
heard that one.
is so good. It's almost got a dark sitcom feel to it. I think he released it on April Fool's Day. I
Okay.
think.
I'll have to go
But
back and look.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do. It's
Nobody.
very.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to answer Dame Saturday, and she says Price was a legend, and he really was
Yes.
just the best, just absolutely best. He was. Anyway, yes, your kitty. I don't know. Do you have catnip in the house there for Tim?
My cat?
Yeah.
Mine? No. I have some treats that I call his cocaine because what'll happen is that I'll open the lid and he'll run over and start like pawing on it and like pawing at the shelves and all this other stuff, desperate for a sweet, sweet bit of the cocaine, and then I give it to him, and then like 30 seconds later he's back for more. I feel like a dealer, but it's good for his. But unlike actual cocaine, it's good for his teeth, so I don't mind giving him an extra one.
That's funny because I was actually going to make a comment. It's like, oh, it's his cocaine. Does he start licking his teeth?
Yeah. Now he's staring at me. He knows that we're talking about it. So
I don't know what
there
you're
will
saying.
be revenge.
I don't know what you're saying, Human, but I know that you're talking about me.
Basically. Though with how Tim acts sometimes, with how spastic he is, I wouldn't be surprised if there were ghosts here and the ghosts would just mess with him. Because he'll run into my bedroom, hop onto the bed, look at the wall, then run out of the room the next second.
Oh. My dog, like a few weeks ago, would sit and he'd be staring into this one corner. And I thought, what the heck is he doing? He kept doing that and doing that. And then I realized, even though I have 4 cats, I have a mouse in the house. And that's what he was waiting for, was the mouse to come out. My cats are so lazy.
You want the mouse so bad, you get it.
Now, Tim's caught one and injured another. So he's
doing.
That was back when he was a kitten, and so
that's good. He's got the hunting instincts.
That's because he was an outdoor cat before.
My first cat, she was a terrific mouser. She was a heck of a mouser. I miss her.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He's got his butt right by your ear because they do that.
Here,
Tim,
smell.
stop
mooning.
Stop mooning the camera, Tim.
Well, how are they gonna know if it's me?
True. Golly day, Tim. I call them spooky noodles. Good for you. Sometimes I find troll pastas or story that fails to be scary. I didn't narrate them for the sake of comedy. I do think that it'd be fun to start branching out with the stories that are narrated. I mean, not specifically out of the horror genre entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be fun to into little comedy bits, or though I don't know if people are writing as much like online comedy or little things like that as they are horror.
Right.
Do you guys know?
They're hard to find. I did one, what was it? So you want to summon a demon or something like that, and a few others that were, kind of comical, and I do enjoy those. I've done a few of those too, Dame Saturday, and they are a lot of fun. Also, Dame Saturday, while we are on that, your name also, not only the Dame as the female knight, but Saturday, it reminds me of Baron's Saturday. So anyway, that's just wanted to throw that in there. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, guys. Oh, and I'm going to talk again. I'm so sorry. Richard says, I love the old radio dramas. I love doing those and putting those together. The only problem is getting the parts back from people I asked to collaborate on them.
Yeah, that's always the
Yeah.
pickle.
Yeah.
W- um, when I first started, I had this idea for a story called Pen Pals or something, where it's two people writing letters back and forth, and like one of them is not quite what he seems or she seems or whatever. And I was thinking about doing it as a collaboration, but at the same time, it's just like I'm not sure if I could ask somebody to put aside that much time to read that much of a story because it would be a longer one. So I don't know. But yeah, getting stuff back from people is probably
It's hard.
yeah.
I think I've only had difficulty with one other creator, but the only reason was because, you know, he had some things going on for him at the same time, and I had told him specifically that not is that I had a few videos before to do, so, you know, take your time.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't put out that video. I haven't put it together yet.
I was going to do one for last Halloween, and one part fell through, and then another person never ever got back to me, and so it never got done. And I felt bad because Auntie Creeps helped with it, and she sent me her audio, but I just couldn't get the other parts done, and so it just fell apart. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the old radio dramas, you can actually get the scripts for them, and they are
Ooh.
not copyrighted. So, you know,
Ooh.
I did one called Murder Castle, and it had Dr. Creepin was kind enough to help me with that. And, you know, it was from like 52, so it was a little on the corny side, but that is also one of my favorite videos that I've done. So anyway, yeah, it's Murder Castle. It was based on H.H. Holmes, and it was a lot of fun.
You can't
So
see me right now. I'm doing the
That
finger
thing,
kind of
though.
contemplation.
yes, you
Ooh,
can find those old radio
That's-
scripts,
it's creepy.
which is a lot of fun.
Okay,
But like I say, it's just
Sometimes corny is the blue.
go ahead.
sorry, Bethany, you faded out. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay.
Is the
I was just
internet-
gonna say that I'm an idiot because I realized I have my phone. I have my phone in my hand that I can just look at the. I can look at the live chat while I'm doing this.
There you go.
Yeah.
I actually have Chrome and Firefox up at the same time to watch what's going on.
I can't do that. It'll eat up the bandwidth.
Yeah, I actually just mute the
chat.
the YouTube page,
Mhm.
the YouTube page, so that it's not like getting the feedback.
Right.
That's how I
That's
did
what
it.
I do. Yep.
Right. So
So sorry, I was sitting here reading the chat.
I was reading the chat too.
yeah. So let's see. Mara says, "Can tell you trying to co-write without being in the same room is a nightmare as well. So can imagine narrating." Yeah, I can imagine that people who write books together, they must have the most insane chemistry
Oh yeah.
I would
in order
imagine
to
so.
write
Oh yeah.
like that, or even just write like a short piece, because it'd be like a blending of two different styles, and like I think so far I've run across I haven't read Neil Gaiman and Sir Pratchett's
Pratchett, Terry
uh,
Pratchett. Yeah.
piece. I think there's only one other one that I've read that both the two authors working together worked, and that was I think Tracy Hickman and Margaret Wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
the
their
Dragonlance
names.
books. Yeah.
Ladies,
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
those
5.
are really
I'm
good.
gonna take 5.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Do you need us to go with you?
all right.
Just kidding.
No.
Hey Tim.
Yeah. Margaret and Tracy. I read those many years
Hey.
ago. There's also books, and I always get their names mixed up because between the two of them, they have 4 first names. Or anyway, or 4 last names. It's Douglas, Lincoln Childs, and anyway, they do a series about an very strange FBI agent called Aloysius Pendergast that has some very spooky cases. The movie Relic was based on their first book about him. Okay, Darren,
Yeah.
thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for your support. David and Lee endings. Are they married, Mara? Because that would probably help the chemistry if they were. So anyway. Okay.
But yeah, I've got to imagine it's with even with just stylistically having things work together. I mean, my style is probably a lot different from Bethany's style, so on and so forth. So, I mean, we might gel as people, but figuring out a writing style, or how you write, or how disciplined you are at writing, or how you like to outline. So yeah, it is amazing to
it would be hard, I would
write
think,
together, and it works.
Right. It would be hard to you'd have to leave your ego at the door when you did something like that, and really be open to the other person, which I imagine is really, really hard when it's something as creative as writing that you're putting so much into. Good night, Darren.
Night, Darren.
Good night, Darren.
Ah, she's back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey. Long time no see.
Right?
But yeah, Madam Raven and I were just talking about. Well, you probably caught the first part of it. We're talking about how difficult it would be for two people to write together, even if like they got along and that sort of thing.
Well,
Just like with writing styles.
I get that, because like if you have 2 writers that have 2 different writing styles, that they typically would have their own idea of how the story is supposed to go, and then they would have to come to a compromise. And well,
Right.
if they are set on how this is how the story is supposed to go, then that's
Well,
I imagine it'd be like, go ahead.
It's not just like because Dane's mentioning egos and personalities. It's not just that, but like just the flavor of writing. Like someone might be really good at comedy, but someone else might be very good at doing drama or thrillers or that kind of thing. And those two talents may not go together well. It's like the flavor mint and the flavor orange. They're both good on their own, but mixing together, it would be a very weird flavor.
Right. But they both go well with chocolate.
That analogy works.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mara says boundaries is very important in that, and I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Sorry, I was
Well,
just reading the chat.
that's okay. That's okay. But
But yeah, let's see. Hang on. Who said it? Dame Saturday said that egos have no place in writing, and I have to agree to an extent because it's. I feel like it's okay to have some ego, but if it's so inflated, then it's really best for you just to do a solo project. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's true. For me, the time is 8:11. Merritt. Sherbet? Okay.
Where I am, it's 9:11.
Yeah. And I mean, and
Hey,
sometimes
Johanna.
it's okay. And sometimes it's good to develop your writing identity before getting into a major project with somebody.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I mean there's the two sides to the ego and the personality is being able to stand by your work and stand by who you are as a writer. Because just because one person doesn't like your style doesn't mean someone else won't like your style.
true.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
Hmm.
Not everyone is going to like you.
Absolutely. Which is a lesson that I've learned over my 21 years of life, and receiving a lot of rejections from a lot of different literary magazines. I kind of trying to remember where I'm at right now on the counter. Um, Probably over 100 at this point. I may actually be insane. Let me check.
The thing is, it's it's not failure every time you do it, though. I mean, you learn as you
That's true.
continue to write, you learn more. It's just learning the craft. It's not you can't think of, every rejection letter as failure. It's just,
True.
you know,
Right.
That's true. And
it's hard.
yeah, I'm past that point. But who wants to guess what number I'm at currently?
Number?
Yeah, number.
Uh, what is the context of said number that you are asking?
The number of no's I've gotten from
27.
higher.
I'm guessing 27. Final answer.
Okay, final answer. No, not Richard, not 10. Madam, do you have a number?
Oh, I'll go higher. I'll say 50.
Okay. Anyone in the chat want to guess?
Make your bets. Take your bets.
Make your bets right here. Okay, Richard. Richard is getting closer. Richard is the closest.
Oh wow.
Any other final ones?
I'm way off then. That's okay. I accept it.
All right. So, my current tally just on submittable is 147.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah, but currently I also have 3 acceptances. So
See, there you go.
yeah, see. All right, Richard got over, but we'll give Richard a prize. The satisfaction of guessing the closest on a
Bravo, Richard.
yeah, you get the satisfaction of being closest. But yeah, believe me, it's definitely a rough lesson to learn, but it's a yep, Dame. Let's start a blackjack game right now. Tim can be our dealer. He's great at playing cards.
That's because
I've caught him.
That's because Tim counts cards.
That's true. He is a cheat too. He has fun he makes fun of the dog all the time.
Never trust a black cat.
Basically, like he'll actually stick his paw under the door between the two parts of the house, and he'll get the dog riled up and get the dog to run at the door, and then the dog will run into the door and he'll pull his hand back. He, he'll also just sit right next to the door and let the dog smell him. So yeah, but the fun part is Karma comes back like a well,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, because sometimes the dog actually gets into my side of the house. So Tim gets incredibly confused because he was not expecting this. But still, Tim has won every time they've gone toe to toe. So
Yes, Richard. Yes, evil kitty.
basically, yeah, the most evil. But he's my evil son, so I gotta take responsibility for that. What if? Oh, that I need to start writing ideas down. What if the Antichrist was not a child in the human sense, but a cat?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like, and it got all the Instagram followers, and that's how it started its cult. The cult of the Antichrist is all the people who like and follow and follow the cat's Instagram page and its YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I feel like I should have said that out loud, but next April Fools, you guys know what's you guys know what's coming. Oy vey. Night, Merritt.
Good night.
Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite.
Don't let the undead bite.
Unless they're incredibly attractive, and then go ahead. I don't know. As long as you guys are both consenting adults, you guys do your thing. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of terrible.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't know.
Richard. That sucks.
You have had yeah
Yeah, they do. They're
yeah they're
nasty.
awful. Wolf
They're nasty.
spiders though. Wolf spiders are creepy as all get out. Um, when I was a kid, apparently there was actually a nest of them under my room. I didn't know this at the time, but I would wake up with like spider bites on my legs, which is creepy. So, yep, that fun fact.
There's the idea for your next scary story.
Basically, so I'm batting around. Yeah, next week is the Las Vegas loan shark, and then the week after is probably going to be a story that I've been wanting to do for a while, but it's kept getting second place on my Twitter poll, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, which is going to make a man in Florida very happy because he's upset that it lost again. Florida man gets upset over
Florida man gets upset over everything.
his Twitter poll not turning out his way. Oh, the Florida man articles are the most fun.
They're pretty great. Although I will say there is one story that I heard from South Carolina that was just kind of a I'm not sure how to take this kind of story. There was an African American woman in a neighborhood who claimed that some of the white people in her neighborhood did a hate crime against her by putting this sticky yellow powder on her car. It was pollen.
No.
It was on all the cars.
Oh, golly day.
It's like I want to laugh, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm insensitive
Yeah.
for laughing.
It's kind of one of those things where it's something we've probably grown hypersensitive to, and when but it's kind of one of those things. It's just like let's laugh a little bit quietly in the dark corners of our houses where no one could ever see us, and then then
And now it's on the internet forever.
yeah, basically. Oh no! Whoops. Whoops.
My bad.
Apparently, there was somebody from Maryland who what's it? Something about he set somebody on fire who was helping him build a bunker, like an underground bunker. I don't know. My a friend of mine sent me the article. It's just so weird.
What?
Let me see. Golly day. What did he send to me? Jury convicts wealthy stock trader in fiery death of man who was helping him secretly dig tunnels for an underground nuclear bunker beneath his Maryland home. Welcome to Maryland.
I don't
I don't even know how to.
What?
I feel like this would be a very good Lifetime movie.
I don't know.
Let's just blame Tim. Tim probably had something to do with it.
It was all Tim.
Yeah, it's Tim's Antichrist cat cult on Instagram that started it all. Golly day, Tim. He would do something like that too.
Madam, you're awfully quiet. Oh.
Did she? Oh wait. Did her mic mute or?
I'm not seeing the muted symbol.
Oh.
Whoop.
Now it is muted.
Now it is muted. Tim is using his powers from afar.
Yes, he is. The sneaky devil. Right. I probably will have to go soon because it's about 10:30 where I am.
Ah.
I have work tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I guess if there's any last things anyone in the chat wants to, yeah, Basement Cat. Is it up? Oh, I changed a porch light bulb with a Black Widow MMS from my hand. Braver than me, Madam Raven.
Yeah, if you're talking, we still can't hear you, madam. I'm sorry.
Tim worships and is devoted to Basement Cat.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Basement Cat. I feel like I'm missing something.
It was an old. It was an old meme. Let's see. Oh,
okay. I'm looking at it now.
I don't remember the exact context, but I do remember hearing about it. It's an old meme.
Good souls go to ceiling cat. Bad souls go to basement. That looks like it. But yeah, no. Tim's probably the son of Basement Cat. Son of Basement Cat is the Antichrist that developed his cult through Instagram. But yeah, that's the War of the Cats is still on. Yes, apparently it is. The war between cats and dogs takes precedence, so the cat clans are currently uh, bound together. But once the dogs are gone, well, it'll be war between the cats.
The only reason why the cats are so uptight is because they still remember when they were worshipped as gods.
Pretty much. Yeah, cats. Cats are a special breed of something. I know a
Madame
lot of
Raven
people.
can't get it to unmute. She can't get her thing to unmute. Oh no!
Oh no.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people say cats are smarter than dogs, but I think that they're both stupid in their own special way. Though I think that everyone is stupid in their own special way. But
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
dogs are stupid in the fact that they will love you forever and will do things because they love you, but have no like long-term kind of thinking, kind of. So they'll bark and bark and bark, hello, 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 kind of thing, and then you're like, shut up, and they're like, I don't understand. But
Yeah,
cats,
they're very live in the moment kind of creatures.
cats will do things that are directly contradictory to their own personal happiness just to mess with you.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like
It's like let's see. Like you can pet a cat for like two or three pets and then it'll bite you and go, "Okay, get off me. I've got my own things going on. Bye."
yeah,
Get
and
it
then
unmute.
Yay!
Can you hear me now?
Yay!
I can hear you.
There you
back.
go.
That was intense.
We didn't know if you'd make it, but we're glad you did.
I honestly did not know I was muted, and I thought, oh my gosh, I keep trying to talk and they talk over me.
We're so sorry.
It's not that we don't like you, madam. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, story of my life.
We blame Tim.
It's Tim.
Tim.
Now his evil. You know what? My microphone quit working when my cat walked in the room. So,
Oh my gosh. It's a conspiracy.
That's
It is a conspiracy. Richard said it's a conspiracy. He was right. You were right, Richard.
That's right.
You were right all along.
Conspiracy.
And then Richard disappears from the chat. Oh no. The cat's got him.
Richard said
that's
he told
great.
you.
Oh my gosh.
No, funny. Oh. Anyway, oh my goodness. I have got to go and do dishes because I haven't got them done. Isn't that awful?
Dishes are I'm trying to remember what it was, but there's this Greek myth of the guy who keeps rolling a boulder up the hill, and then just as he's like almost done,
it rolls
back. All the way
Sisyphus.
back.
Uh-huh.
Basically, that is doing the dishes. We are in Greek purgatory.
That's right. And they say, "Oh, you get a break. Then you have to go do laundry."
Yeah. Yeah. What sin did we commit that Zeus condemn us to this hell?
That's right.
You know what's funny? My cat's name is Zeus. It's a conspiracy.
There we go. Conspiracy confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed. Comedy day. Oh gosh.
That's funny. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Thank you all so very much for coming. I need to do this again.
Problem.
This was so much fun. It is.
Absolutely.
This was fun.
It is. And thank you everybody in the
This was a lot of fun.
In the chat for showing up. You guys are awesome. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
So
bombdiggity.com.
That's right.
And thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming. And yes, Mara's cat's name is Nix, which is perfect. She has another black cat. What? Kitty, kitty, kitty. She's complaining.
She senses that we're on to her.
That's right.
So she has to distract us.
Oh, funny.
All right.
So anyway, thank you, ladies. Thank you, my darlings in the chat. And we will do this again because this is a lot of fun.
This
So
was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
thanks, guys. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.